Hi, everybody. Hopefully that didn't. Sorry, I had to just adjust the camera. Oh, got volume going here. There we go. Always forget that one. Turn off the volume. Turn off the volume. So, hello. I am back today and we're going to talk about flowers. We're going to talk about some new stuff that's in the store. And we're going to kind of talk about my next big project I've got sort of on the go here with love letters. So I was very fortunate to be sent love letters before Christmas. So I have been tardy, but Christmas and that was crazy. And yeah, it's what it is, right? And then we had the crop and we had the virtual retreat. So there was a lot of stuff going on. So I was fortunate enough to get my hands on love letters. And I've been thinking about now, what do I want to do with it? Do I want to go the Valentine route or do I want to go someplace else? And if you listened to me last week, I told you all about these letters that I have. Hello, Caroline. Hello, Nancy. I told you all about these letters I have from my mother-in-law. After she passed away, I found letters that she had written to my father-in-law. So long story, I think that's where these letters are going to end up. This is a beautiful collection. Yes, it's got a Valentine, but it also has exactly what I see in it, that these love letters. So it's a set of 8 times 3 double-sided pattern papers. So there's 3 of each of these, and we'll quickly go through them. And then you get 2 sheets of a sheet that's got tags on it, and you get 2 sheets of a set of cut aparts with some tickets on it and some other lovely stuff that I'll show you in a second. So that's the collection. That's what I made these flowers out of, and I'll explain the difference in them in just a bit. And I've got some other goodies sitting over here on the side that I'm going to show you guys that are coming to the store or have just been added to the store. So there's lots to kind of talk about today. But first, I just have to share my love letters with you because I think it's such a stunning piece of paper. So you get 2 sheets with these tags on them, which I think is just beautiful ephemera. Couldn't you see writing on these? You know, or fussy cut out some of the other elements on the pattern paper and then add them as embellishments or ephemera. There's an idea. Hi, Michelle. And then on the reverse of it, it's this beautiful muted pink. And I know my camera's not going to show it with what it's just what it should be shown as. I had my big lights on and I was getting too much. We're sunny today here, which is great, but it kind of throws everything off in here. So there's the back side. So there's roses. And then this is the cut apart. So there's 2 4x6s. There's 4 3x4s. And then you've got these beautiful tickets. And even if you didn't want to use the ticket side of them, flip it over and use this. And I think Tammy showed you guys this the other day. This heartfelt tickets and tags, it has a little ticket die and it fits these guys perfectly. I hope you can see that. It's a perfect fit. So you could run them through the die cutting machine. So this is tickets and tags from Heartfelt that Tammy has in the store. I can't remember if this one is sold out and the other one is there. One is there, one is sold out, but I know there's more of each coming. Okay, so if it's not there right now, just keep looking back, keep checking back, and when they do arrive, I'll make a post, or Sally will make a post. Somebody will make a post to let you know they've come back in stock. So there's that. And then, like I say, on the reverse is this beautiful, more roses. This reminds me of wallpaper at my grandma's house. So you get 2 of each of those sheets, and then everything else I'm going to show you, you get 3 of them. So Tammy is extremely generous with her collections. And I'm hoping I can get this done with one collection. And I think I'm going to use as my stretching paper is just some natural artisan linen cardstock. So we've got this side. These almost got some coral in them. And then the back is more roses. I love the bees. The bee side of these papers are, as far as I'm concerned, just as stunning as the other side. Hi, David. How are you today? Yes, I guess it would be bedtime in the UK. Hi, Gail. Glad you could join. So this has got some, what do I want to call it? Barn board happening here. Roses down here, some hearts, roses up here, and then the back side is more barn board and flowers again. It's heavy in the roses. I love roses, so this is right up my alley. And if you look, she even did some textured hearts here. This one, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it with my camera. There, I think you can see it. It's like a sweater texture on that heart. Some buttons. This is all kinds of stuff going on. So you could cut these out if you wanted to. You could fussy cut around some of the roses and then put them on those tags. Just so many ideas. And I may have repeated things that other people have said about this paper. I try not to watch the other designers do their hauls so it doesn't influence me, because I can be easily influenced that way. Hello, Miss Tanya. So glad. Hello, Miss Sally. Glad you guys could join. So this has got some gray tones going on in it. And again, more roses. And then the back looks like lace here along the bottom and some writing. And they almost look, it looks marbly to me when I look at this side of the side. Now, I believe this is going to be on the front of this album I'm creating. I kind of have pulled this sheet out going, I think I'm going to use this on the front. No guarantees, but I think that's where I'm going. So we've got more barn board going on, and that probably isn't the right name for it, but that's what I'm going to call it. Hello, Mary. And then on the back, a very muted rose. I hope I'm not. No, everything's cool. I was fine on YouTube. I was a little frozen there for a second on Facebook, so I don't know what's going on there, but we'll be fine. It's probably my end on my iPad, because what's streaming out of here in StreamYard is good. So barn board, more muted roses. It's just gorgeous paper. Love this. Maybe I'll just cut this out. I don't know yet. And then this paper has like a burnt edge around it. It's like, you know, I remember doing this when I was in grade school. You wanted a piece of paper to look old. So you'd do Sally's tea dyeing to it, and then you'd set fire to the edges of it. So yeah, I did some of that. I never burnt down the house though, so I was good. Oh, good. Thanks, David, because I think it's called a different name, but that's what I'm sticking with today. So you could do some journaling on this. It's Valentine's Farm. Hi, Doris. I think it's Tina. Hi, Tina, over on Facebook. And Monica, so nice that you could join me. And then here, more Ledger Valentine Farm. So you could take it to the Valentine side of things if you wanted to. Like I say, I think I'm going in that opposite direction, but I love this. I absolutely love this. You could take this and you could fold it, because this Bristol doesn't crack. And then you could put this in a pocket for them to journal on, or for you to journal on. Maybe I'll even do that. You never know. The ideas I come up with. It says Kissing Booth. I love this banner along the top. I see some fussy cutting happening there. Tickets sold here. And it's sort of got a plaid, pink plaid. And then on the back side, more of the roses and more of that plaid. I love the water stains. I just love it. And I love this heart, this pink heart right in the very center. and Cupid's Bakery, so you can even go to the recipe side of things if you wanted to. Isn't it, Lisa? It's gorgeous. Hi, Lisa. It's absolutely, I remember, oh, good, Tina. I love this collection. And again, she did, you know, the distressed edging to the paper, and more of that, as I'm calling it, barn board today. And I love this frame. You could actually do a 12 by 12 layout on this and it would look gorgeous. Even on this, you could do a 12 by 12 layout if you wanted to. Unfortunately, 12 by 12 layouts aren't my thing, but you know, that's why paper comes in all kinds of styles. Love this one. So it's kind of got the rose gold going on here, and it's got more roses. These are a little bit smaller. And then this backside is, it's kind of that, rose gold wasn't the right word. Kind of a, well, yeah, I guess a rose color. A light burgundy maybe is a better way to put it. And maybe that's not even an accurate description of it. And these hearts that look like lace on top of them. And there's the backside, more roses. Okay, so now I get to share with you the kind of new stuff that's coming to the store. And I think I might have, Sally, it's only because I get to see the inventory sometimes that I get to, yeah. You know what, Lynn, and good afternoon, Lynn. Yes, definitely one of my new favorite collections. Definitely. And like I say, I've got a project sitting over on my desk over here, and I'm hoping I will have the first part of it ready to start next week. No guarantees though, but in the meantime, I came on with this stuff today because I have something brand new that unless you were looking in the store today, you wouldn't have even found. Yes, thank you everyone for joining. So let me just get to what I believe is the new, that I don't know if Sally showed this yet. This is coming to the store. It's from Heartfelt Creations. It's the 3D Floral Basic Shaping Mold. Keyword here, basics, meaning you can put any die that you cut out. So in this case, of course, I went to my new favorite die, which is the clematis. I used this clematis die, cut my flowers out, and then I put them in this shaping mold to start the process of shaping my flowers. It's not there yet, Sally. That's why you didn't know about it, because it's not quite there yet, but it's coming. It's coming. And here it is. And it's perfect because you've got one really big spot and then a little bit smaller, and then you go down to the smaller sizes. So it's good. You could even take circles, punch out circles, put them in this, and make flowers out of those circles. So it's very, very versatile. So let's say you were thinking about a 3D mold and you weren't sure which one, and you were thinking, well, if I get, let's say, the poinsettia one, you can only use it with poinsettias. This one. If I'm going to recommend one shaping mold for you guys to put into your stash, this one, when it's finally in the store. And I believe it should be in the store in the next week to 10 days. As soon as it's in there, Sally will post a message in Scrapbookers to let you guys know. But this is one I will recommend highly for everybody to have in their stash, especially if you're coming on board my bandwagon. And I can say Sally's bandwagon. Make your own flowers. They're beautiful. They're stunning. And they're yours. So I'm going to set that aside. And I told you what die I'm using. So I'm using this clematis die. That's the die I'm making flowers with today. I am using the Heartfelt Creations shaping tool set, or Deluxe flower shaping kit. There also is a smaller one. It works just as well as this one does. I just like the Deluxe because it comes with a couple of other bells and whistles that I thought I needed. Okay, and when you open it up, this is the one thing I really like about their flower making tool set. My stylus isn't in here right now. See, the stylus actually goes here. These two little things go down here, and there's a piercing piece up here. So let me put my little, and it's magnetic. That's what holds these guys in place. So that's the kit, and it comes with its own mat. Excuse the mess of mine, but it's been used, so it's going to be dirty. Thank you, Sally. Thank you. There's going to be a few more things, so get ready for them. So yes, make sure you look into one of these. Put it on your wish list for your birthday. So we're going to be using all of that. I don't know why I put the mat away because I'm going to need it. So let's just do that. Don't want to get my desk too crowded here. So this is the flower dye we're using. Now I'm going to bring up my two flowers. I only made two because I used a different glitter on them. And this is the new pearls in the store. So I'm going to tell you, this is the color. There are two new ones in the store. There is this one that is Guilt Trip. No, Sally, I didn't send them to you yet because I wanted to show them here first. This is like a, oh, I don't know. What color would we call that? And that's a pretty accurate. Let's see if we can get the camera to do what it's supposed to do. Maybe if I put them in my hand. So they're kind of a brownish taupe color. Maybe taupe's not the right word, but I love them. Now watch me put these back in here, and I'm never going to get them back in there. Hang on. I need a container to put these in until after, because that much will do many flower centers. So I'm just going to put it in something so I can add it back. But it is absolutely a gorgeous color. Sally, they're under Prills. There is more in the store. There's this one, and there is the one that is, it's a yellow color, I believe. It is, one second here. I'll get you the name of it. It's Heart of Gold is the other new one. And there's a couple of more lemon chiffon ones in the store too. So make sure to check that out, because these prills, they are to die for. And in the center of a flower, they're perfect. They're absolutely perfect. And what I use to make these flowers is, this is the gold sheen, no, the pearl sheen gold artisan paper that Tammy sells in the store. And she sells it by the sheets, and she also sells it in the 25 pack. And all I did is I just inked the edges. We're going to make a couple so you can see exactly how I did this. And the glitter that you can, I hope you can see the glitter. I hope you see the glitter because it's gorgeous. The glitter happens to be this stuff that Sally showed you earlier in this week. It's called Crystal Clear. And it's in the store. And it's got iridescent bits and pieces in it. And it's absolutely stunning. And less is more, of course, because you're talking to Bonnie here. So we've got this one in the store right now, this Crystal Clear. And then there's this one, the Frosted Powder. And I hope you can see, it looks just like sugar frosting, and I'm not a baker. You're doing amazing. Hi, Anne-Marie. Thank you, Sally. It's got a frost. You heat set this. So you use your glue, you add the frosting powder, and then you take your heat gun and heat set it. The only thing I will suggest is maybe do your prills after that, because I did my prills before and I was trying to cook the glue that was underneath the prills. So I would do that after on my next one. And I didn't ink any edges. I just put the frosting powder on it because I wanted you guys to see it. Yeah, there you go. So that is a couple of things that are, look into them. Look into these, because this one for sure, this one is gorgeous too. So those are the flowers. And what else did I want to? I think Sally already mentioned these, the daubers from Heartfelt that are in the store now. And that's what I used today when I was not only using my ink, but I now have one that I'm specifically going to use for glue, because I discovered today that I could get a much, my technique was much better than using the old way, which was when I said to use a sponge. So just for future reference. So I'm just going to set that there, set those up there because we're going to need them, move this out of my way, and then talk about, bring back this shaping mold and just talk about how we're going to use this. So I'm not going to run one of these guys through. I'm just going to talk about what I did. So before I start, I have just straight up water and I spray the inside of my mold. I'm pretty generous, like, you know, because I want my flowers to really have a little bit of water in them. And then all I do is I decide which side do I want to be my upside. So this is the upside, so I'm going to turn it upside down. Now these ones I've already run through, and I just went through my stash of flowers that I had created, looking for the ones that would fit the holes that I had. And I didn't have any really small ones, but you could just cut out circles and throw them in there if you wanted to, if you really wanted to use this mold to its efficient, be terribly efficient for future reference. And then all you do is, you could spray them again if you want to. I didn't this time. Then you put the top on your mold, and then you run it through your die cutting machine. And I have a Vagabond, so I put one of my plates on top. Yes, I did a bad thing on this one. And then I put the other one on the bottom. So it's, my sandwich looks, hang on a second here. Something like this when I put it through my machine. Check your individual machine because it will tell you what kind of sandwich you need. And remember, if it seems like you're forcing it, probably you should back off. And then when they come out, voila, you have your flowers all shaped. I would let them dry a little bit because they are damp because you sprayed the inside of the mold. So I like to let my flowers go and sit and, you know, and dry off a little bit. So that's one of my little points today. And then the next thing I want to do is I just need a piece of scratch paper, as I call it. And I'm going to pull out, I don't know, the flowers I'm going to make this time. I tend to make flowers in threes. You can make your flowers any way you want to make them. There we go. That's what I'm going to do. You can, you know, maybe I'll make a 5 this time. I'll make sure I'm going to have enough to make one more. Yeah, let's make a 5 this time. There we go. No, I want the other side. There we go. I kind of like that combination together. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my little ink dauber, and I am using archival ink. You could use distress ink. You could use just regular dye ink. You can use almost any ink you want to. Oh, yes, Carolyn, I totally get that. Yes, catch you on the replay. And with the gold sheen paper, pearl sheen paper, call it the right name, Bonnie, I think I told you this before, I usually start off my paper and then I start inking it. Just doing the edges. And the nice thing about this with these daubers, you can get right down into these corners if you want. That is the nice thing. And I ink usually before I take my flower shaping tool to them. You could use more than one color. You can, yeah, you decide what color you want your flowers to be. I could have used, like I said, it's distress ink. I could do the center if I wanted to. And then I'm going to do this one. And again, you can do them laying down. See, on the bottom layers, I really only worry about the edges because you're not really going to see the center, right? And like on this one here, I didn't ink anything. This one, I did some inking. And as you guys know, I tend to ink most of the time with less than more. And once you start making flowers, because I know I can hear it out there. Can you say it again? No, I won't say it the way you want me to say it, Sally. I find making flowers is very addicting. And never think that your flower isn't okay. Your flowers are always okay. Because just check out there in nature. Flowers are different. Every flower, it's like snowflakes. Every snowflake is different. Every flower is different. And again, I'm going to pick it up because I want to get right down because this is going to be, if not my top layer, my second top from this top layer. No, this is going to be my top layer. And you could use plain colored cardstock. Sorry, telling me it's 1:30. And then for this one, I'm inking this one pretty heavy today. I just want to, and you see what's happening? This one I'm inking up really, really heavy. Look at the lines it's making. That's where that's the lines that were made in the mold. And now with the heavy inking, those indentations are really standing out. Let's see if I bring it up closer. I don't know. Not doing it justice. But they're there. My feed is very slow. I love the finger daubers, Debbie. You snuck in. I didn't get to say hello. Hello. And let's keep going. Sometimes I miss people as they're coming in because I'm not looking at comments. It's very hard to look at the comments and focus on flowers at the same time. Believe it or not, I find it easier when I'm constructing an album to keep checking back to comments. So. And I have a ton of this scratch paper laying around, and I'm always pulling out a sheet. Okay, and now the last one. I find I have better control with these tiny little daubers than I do with the Tim Holtz and with these guys. Just find I can get into all the tiny places. The bigger ones have their places and the brushes have their places. But like I say, it, you know, some tools are necessary for different projects. And this is one of them. And I guess the other thing I will say, what I'm noticing as I'm putting this sepia onto the Pearl Sheen Gold Artisan, it's almost giving a little bit of a metallic look. And they do last forever. They do. And you know what I have done sometimes is I label them. I'll put a little label on here saying it's my sepia one, and then just keep it someplace close to my sepia ink as a way to know where it is and what it is. So let's just move this, because with the other flower, I'm not going to bother inking it. Or I may, to see where our time is at and if I bored you to tears yet. So we want the back side, so the wrong side. So the side you didn't ink, we want it facing down towards the mat. And this is the other thing I find with the shaping mold. So if you've watched any of my other flower shaping little tutorials, I always say really push down hard along the edges. Well, I find when I run it through the shaping mold first, I don't have to do that because the fibers have already started to break down a little bit. And I am putting very little pressure along my edges. So as I've always said, I work the edges of my flowers first, most of the time. And I try not to touch it except with my stylus. That's how I was taught to make flowers, is let the flower go where it wants to go. Don't touch it with any, and I know the thing is, oh, I need to hold this flower down. No, let those petals go in the direction they want to go. Okay, goodbye, Sally. Enjoy the Dollar Tree. And then I'm just going to take the bigger one and I just tickle the belly. And I'm not tickling these bellies very much today because I want my flowers to be a flatter kind of flower today. So there's one. So let's move on to the next. So there's my ink side, turning it to the wrong side. And I'm just working the edge of the flower. And I'm not pushing very hard. As soon as the petal is starting to curl, I'm kind of releasing my pressure. Hello, Carolyn. Glad you could join today. We're making flowers because I'm bound and determined you guys are going to make flowers. I want you to be as addicted to flower making as I am. And then we're going to tickle the belly. And there's one, two, I should say. Okay, so there's my ink side, my not ink side. And you can decide which stylus point you want to use. And you're going to see these flowers in my project that I've been talking about. Tickle the belly. I've got two more, so I'm going to put them both upside down. Yes, I saw that. It looks like it's really, really cold back east. We're beautiful here today. So I got to talk Celsius. We're like at +3 today. So that's Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So +3, I don't know. It's in the either high 30s, low 40s. I'm good with that. So this is going to be the one that's going to be my center. Just going to set it over here. And last one for this flower. And then I think the other one we'll make maybe not a 5-layer because they take a while. Especially if you want ink. And I think I do want to ink the edges. I think I like the inked edge look. There you go. Try to say that 20 times. I think I prefer the inked edges to the non-inked edges. And I could still go back and add ink to the edges, especially with this little dauber. Like you could just go in here, even if you just put some ink on the pearl sheen. Like so. Just makes a whole different looking flower. Okay, so let's put this flower together and then we'll talk. We've got to tickle the belly on this one though first. Then we'll talk about what we're going to do. Yes, I guess I didn't say happy birthday to you, Anne-Marie, on here. I'm a little late. So let me just see what I want to do here. Yes. So I'm going to add, and I like to use tweezers for this application. I just find I have a little bit more control of where I'm placing the flower, or the flower, because I want the pink to show, you know, I'm offsetting them. And then we're going to put this one next. And remember, if you don't have any prills, and prills aren't in your budget, you can use a little gem. You can use some stickles. You could cut out a piece of paper, a little circle, and stick it down in there. There's a ton of things you could use. So the more layers you use in a flower, the, what's the word I want? The fuller the flower will look. And I just realized something. No, this is going to work. So I'm pushing it down quite a bit in the center, because we're at 4 layers right now for this particular flower. And here's the last layer going in. My stylus, so it's not going to be in my way. So the more layers you put in your flower, the thicker it will be too. So there's the flower put together. And I think we're going to use that frosting powder on it this time, okay? So let me move my flowers, because it just gives you a different texture. Get my little glue, the rest of my glue. So I'm not putting my pearls in the center first. I'm going to use my frosting powder first. So I'm just adding the glue, generous amount of glue, to my dauber. That is now my glue dauber. It actually does, it really does, Carolyn, that the Artisan Pearl Sheen Gold is fabulous for flower making. So I'm just going to start tapping where I want my glue or my frosting to go. And I'm only going to do half to start with. And the reason I'm only going to do half is the art glitter glue does dry, you know, reasonably quickly. And I want this stuff to adhere. So I just have a piece of paper below it. And I'm generous, because I'll just throw this or put this back in its container. Okay. So now do this. And I want to get glue on these petals. I might need a little bit more glue. Probably I don't really need it. It just feels like I do. And just keep, you know, put the glue where you want it. I am just being very generous. And then I'm going to, again, and like I say, with the frosting powder, it is suggested you heat set it. So that is what I did. I'm actually going to put a little bit more on this other side, because it appears I wasn't generous enough first go around. And then I'm just going to tap it down into the frosting. Okay, I've set that there. We're going to pour this back into my container before I bring the heat gun out. And I'm going to apologize ahead of time for the noise the heat gun is going to make. I'm not going to try and talk to you. Yes, Debbie, the finger daubers, they're the heart. If you go to look under Heartfelt Creations, they should still be there. And if they're not, I'm pretty sure Tammy's going to bring more in. Okay. So I just have to bring out my heat gun. I'm going to try and hold it away from the microphone so that you guys don't get sore ears. So what you guys want to see. Okay, there. I'm just going to heat set this. And I see ever such a slight change. It's almost like embossing powder, but it's not. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. It kind of melts. And the point of heat setting is, in my opinion, so that that powder is not going to flake off, because it's on there now. Like, look, nothing is coming off. If I heat set it all, nothing is coming off in my hand. And can you see? Let's hold it there and give my camera time to, if I put it in this hand. Can you see that frosting? I hope you can. Yes. So I love this just because it gives you a completely different look than this one that was the crystal clear. And then the last thing we're going to do with this flower, I'm going to take out all my bits and bobs out of my tray, is we're going to put some frills in the center. So I'm just going to add some glue. And I'm using the True Guilt Trip is what I'm using today. And they are in the store. And I'm just going to use the ones that I had in my hand. Just like I say, they go a long way. And I'll just let them sit there. You can actually take your finger and push into them if you want to make sure they're all getting, and then dump off any excess. And check that out. That's as nice looking as any store-bought flower I've ever seen, and it's not because I made it. I love it. So that's the frosting powder, and we'll make one using the clear because that gives you a completely different look. But I'm only going to do, I think I will do a smaller version. So let me just see what I got going on here. I want this, and I want this, and I want that. No, I want this one. So this one is going to have 3 layers, and I'm going to have 2 layers that are the same size. The 2 bottom layers are the same size, and then my top layer is the smallest clematis there is. So we're just going to do 3 this time. We're going to get our paper back in here, and we're going to ink some edges to start with. And remember, dab it off on your paper because you don't want that harsh ink. And then just start. And I'm going faster on this one. So we'll see how happy I am with it. And again, I'm going to just put it down. Give my edges a really, really good coat of ink. And let's do this one. Again, I'm going to pick it up. Hi, Diane. We're just making flowers today. At the very beginning, I showed you some goodies that are coming or have just arrived. And let's do the last one. Remember, this is going to be the very bottom layer. So really, I'm only going to do the tips. because the rest of it, it doesn't really matter because we're not going to see that far down on these petals. Okay, so there's our inking done. Never late, Diane. Life is out there. It gets in our way. We have to do what we have to do. Just gonna maybe leave that sitting there so you guys can see it. Turn all the flowers over so that you're working on the back side. Get your stylus and just start around the edges. And remember, I made these flowers using that basic shaping mold. And the idea of those shapers or those molds is to break the fibers, and then you don't have to be pushing so hard when you're doing this part. So let your die cutting machine do some of the work for you. And like I say, if I can suggest any one to really get, it's this one. It is coming to the store. It will be there shortly, this 3D floral basic shaping mold. I would say it'll probably be there in the store in the next 7 to 10 days, maybe even sooner. Last one. And we're going to tickle all the bellies at the same time. I'll use this other end. And remember, I'm using the Deluxe flower shaping kit. All right, let's put this flower together. And this is why my mat starts looking the way it looks. It's because I glue right on it. And I'm just pushing it down with the end of the tweezer. And again, we're going to add some glue to the back. Again, push it into place. And then I'm going to get our paper back here because I want to collect any crystal clear stuff that is going to end up adding adhesive, my glue to my dauber. And then I'm just going to start being generous. Okay, I think that's enough. If it's not, we'll add more. And I love these little lids because you don't have an explosion when you take the top off. And so I'm just going to add. And like I say, that's why I do it on a piece of paper, is because I want to be able to scoop it back up and put it in the container. And let's say I want it more because I didn't think it had enough. I'm just going to take my dauber, add a little bit more glue to it. And then just go back in. And wherever I think I needed more glue, I'm going to do that, add the glue. And then you can either flip it over or you can do what I'm going to do, which is just add more of the crystal clear. There's what I was going for. Okay, so let's just set that there for a second. Put this back in its container before I make a huge mess. And set it aside. Add some prills to my center. I need the glue. This is what I like, is you can use the art glitter glue for just about all things. And then this is the rest of those prills that I had in my hand. And like I say, I like to really overflow my flower. push down on it a little bit. And then lift it up. And if it's too much, pull some off. Because remember, that art glitter glue is going to dry clear. Just going to put a little bit more frills because I pushed when I shouldn't have. Just hang on a second here. There we go. And there are some flowers. Let's get a white piece of paper. I think it'll be easier to see. And like I say, the more layers you put on your flowers, and you can make them flat, you can puff them up, you can push them down. See, I got a few loose pearls here, so let's get rid of them. I never throw my pearls in the garbage. If there looks like there's loose ones, I'll take it back to the tray. I want to keep them and use them, as many of them as I can. So there is what we've done. Yes, this frosting definitely heat set the frosting. The crystal clear, it doesn't have any instructions like that on it to heat set it. At least I don't think I read anything that said to heat set it. I didn't. No, there's nothing on the crystal clear to say to heat set it. It makes total sense that you'd want to heat set the frosting just because of the nature of the product, because it does come out. It looks just like icing sugar when it comes out on the flower. So that's why I understand the heat setting for the frosting. And it just gives you two completely different looks, because I really wish you could see these in person. If I move that, then it's just going to start to shake. But that's the frosting one. And I think it's beautiful. And then, like I say, this is the crystal clear. And they both have the gilt trip pearls in the center. And I'm going to be using these flowers. I'm going to make some more, and these flowers are going on to my project I'm creating. And you'll see that in the not too distant future, I hope. And remember, just because it says it's love letters, it doesn't mean it's just a Valentine paper. You could use that paper all year long. So I hope everybody has an awesome weekend. I hope everybody gets to get outside and enjoy a bit of fresh air. I hope everybody gets into their craft room. Sweet friend, thank you for coming. Oh, that wasn't to me. That was to somebody else. That was to Tanya. Okay. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. And look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Fun Friday. And have a great weekend, everybody. Bye for now.